we had everything going against us.
Yeah, we were young, we were broke, we didn't know anything about business. We literally started from nothing.
We were never supposed to make it. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello, hello. Want to welcome you guys back to Win Anyway, and this is episode number 9.
Yes, 9.
But before we get into all that, first we want to say thank you guys so much because we just crossed over 1,000 subscribers.
It's crazy.
So it's crazy to us because, like I mentioned, this is episode 9. So in just, it's
8
pretty
weeks?
much, 8 weeks, over 1,000 subscribers. So if you didn't know, we threw a little contest to celebrate on Instagram. We posted it on our YouTube as well, but on Instagram, and we did it for one day, right?
Yeah.
One day contest, and the winner of that was Evelyn Sanderson.
Yeah, which is awesome.
We're super excited to do a coaching call with you this week or, ASAP. So if you're watching, congratulations again. We're so excited. And thank you guys so much for all the support, for sharing it, for subscribing, for commenting, for everything. It just means the world to us. And so
yeah, we're excited about it. We're excited about it. This is a great topic today. I think it is. This will help you. We want to put out content that helps you, things that you can apply to your business right away. So our topic today is 10 reasons why your teammates keep quitting.
Yes. Yeah. So a lot about retention, a lot about you work so hard to get them in the door and to, grow your business. And now we want you to keep the people who walk through your doors.
Yep. That's the secret. We don't get paid to recruit. We only get paid to keep our recruits and make them successful, which is the ultimate goal as a leader. So let's jump in.
Yeah, let's do it. So
10 reasons why your teammates quit. Now, there's probably a lot more. We could have made a list of 100, but I believe this is, in my personal experience, thus far, the top 10.
Yeah, so far, top 10.
Number 1, when you recruit somebody, someone may start and do their application, get into licensing, all that stuff. And then we have this thing we call sign and die.
Right.
And one of the reasons that we get sign and dies is because I think a lot of people struggle recruiting and they struggle with the close and they can't figure out why. And they go, man, I remember back in the day, I'd run an appointment. I was like, dude, I'm freaking killing it. I'm killing it. All right, ready to start? And they go, yeah, I need to think about it. And I'm like, what the heck is there to think about, dude? I just crushed this thing. Mm-hmm. But the problem is the entire time when I was a rookie, I found that I was selling them my dream. I wasn't selling them their dream. So, for example, I could try to recruit Ronnie, and I'm like, you could be rich. You could drive the Ferrari, make a lot of money, get the rings, win contests, dominate the world, have an Hermes belt, WFG 101, Ferragamo belt, Ferragamo shoes, a little lapel pin, maybe you get a nice watch. Right, and I was selling her the dream, but the whole time it's not her dream. Her dream's to help people. Her dream's to change the world. Her dream's to be able to give and have a sense of fulfillment. So one of the biggest reasons people quit is because you recruit them. They get home, and they go, this is not for me. Mm. And it's because you never found out what they really wanted. You just sold them your dream. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I think part of it is that you're giving the same presentation to every single person.
Exactly.
Literally, like textbook, you're just spitting out the same information versus getting to know them, finding out what they want, and then tailoring it to show them this is how you can get it. I think it's so important to have them talk more than you're talking and to really listen and show them like, okay, I get you, and let me show you how to do that.
Right.
It's very simple.
Right. You said something that was really powerful, which is they should be talking more than you're talking. Mm-hmm. I think part of the struggle with recruiting and even closing is recruiting is one of the best things you could do for people. It's one of the best things. It's the best thing that's ever happened to us as a couple is that we got recruited into WFG. But if we're recruiting and we're recruiting by selling our dream, we're not ever saying, hey, you know what do you really want? What do you want out of this? If you're going to do this, if I'm going to take the time to work with you, you're going to take the time to work with me, You're going to put in the time and effort to learn something new, to get your license. Why are you doing it? What do you really want? What do you want out of life? What do you really want life to look like over the next 6 months? And I'm finding out what she really wants. And then all I'm doing is I'm taking my presentation and I'm tailoring it to show her how WFG and working within Tenacity can give her all the stuff that she wants. And so when she leaves, she doesn't have that, I don't know if this is for me, because I didn't sell her my dream. Everybody doesn't want the same stuff, right?
Right.
Are we motivated the same way?
No.
No? What motivates you?
Competition, nice things, seeing other people hit their goals. I mean, that's what motivates me.
Okay, so then we are motivated the same way. But not everybody is. Not everyone's competitive. You've probably recruited someone that's not competitive. And then you can't figure out why they won't compete. Because you're competitive, but that's not what makes them tick. What makes them tick? Finding their hot button. Like what deep down when you're laying in bed at night and you're frustrated or you're in tears or you just want it so bad, what is it? What is that it that you really want?
Right. And if you haven't been taking notes up until this point, I would be writing down every single question that he just asked, because those are the questions that you can ask on your appointment.
Yeah, that's really all I do.
Yeah.
Tell them the story, Ronnie, when we went on, I took you on an appointment one time to do a delivery.
Oh, yeah. So it had been a while since I had been on out in the field, like outside of the office with him. So we went, and I think we met the client at a Starbucks or something like that. But anyways, we were sitting there with the client, and so I was noticing the whole entire time that they weren't really even going over the products or anything like that. 90% of the appointment was spent asking about her, listening to what was going on in her life, her goals, everything like that, her family. And then the last 10% was going over the actual product, and she was super happy with it, and
Right.
that was it. But 90% was about her and her talking, and us just sitting there.
So it wasn't a presentation. It was a conversation.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think if you connect to their dream, you'll have a lot better chance keeping them. And when they go home and they're going, man, can I do this? In their head, they're thinking of all the things that they can get that they want. People join the business. They start in business for personal gain, some sort of gain. I'm gaining time, purpose, an environment, friends, an opportunity to win for my family, whatever. That's why they start. They quit for the same reasons. I can't do this because I don't have any time. I can't do this because it's not what I've always wanted to do. I can't do this because I don't see my family. So they quit for the same reasons they start. So if I could really attach to their dreams, I could really sell them their dream, piece of cake. I think it's one of the biggest reasons people quit.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's number one, and which ties in perfectly to our next point, which is number 2, which is building a genuine relationship with somebody and not only spending time with them when they're making you money.
Yeah. Yeah, so number 2 is that they quit because you're not building a genuine relationship.
Yeah.
Exactly. You look
exactly.
at them as what? As a dollar sign.
Right. Yeah, and they can tell, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big red flag, and it's not that you're necessarily saying anything wrong. It's that they can tell when you're paying attention to them and when you're not paying attention to them. And they can tell that you're calling them because you just want them to go to the meeting, or you're just calling them because you want them to book appointments versus calling them to see how they are. I mean, they do have, they are humans. They have lives. They, have ups, they have downs just like you do. So, I mean, when people reach out to me, sometimes when somebody reaches out to you, do you ever go, oh, what do they want? Because they're doing that sometimes with you guys. If they see your text message pop up, like, oh, they're going to ask me how many appointments I have booked.
Right.
Which there's nothing wrong with asking them how many appointments they have on the calendar, but do they know it's coming from a place that you care about them, you love them, you want to see them win, not because they want to get paid?
Yeah. You should be pouring into people.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you're just looking at someone as money, they don't stick. They don't stick. There's a quote that Mylette always says that is, if you need me, you can't lead me. When I have someone start in business and I'm field training this person, my number one goal is we're going to become friends. We're going to become best friends. We're going to spend a lot of time together. We're going to make a lot of money together. But man, I've got your freaking back. I want you to win. I want you to be able to make it here. I I did not bring you on board here just to make $1. Like, I want to see you get everything you want. And I'm having a conversation with them where I go, look, what are your goals? Tell me your goals. We're building a real relationship. Tell me your goals. Man, if I could just, I want to pay off my debt. I don't make enough money to ever pay off my debt. I'm buried in student loans. I don't make enough money to like mathematically ever get out of this. I want to be able to buy a house someday. I want to be able to put my kids through college. I want to be able to buy a nice car. I'm tired of driving this piece of junk. Or I want to pay off my car. I want to get, people have goals. They have things they want. And when you build a genuine relationship, I'm telling them, I'm saying, hey, we could get this stuff done. When I started, I wanted the same stuff. And guess what? I don't fail. You will probably give up on your goals long before I do. But I got your back, and we're going to get this done together, and we're going to win together, and I'm going to push you because that's going to help you win. And so we establish a genuine relationship where we become friends, and we start to work together, and we're able to make something happen together. And it's not just about money. We will make money.
Right.
But we're going to get in the trenches together. We're going to go to war together, and we're going to make something happen.
Yep, absolutely.
Boom.
Number 3.
What's number 3?
Number 3 is another reason why your teammates aren't sticking is that you're not overcoming the threats in advance. And so what do we mean by this? Is that when somebody starts brand new on your team, they're not from this industry. And let's be honest, our specific sector in the industry is not traditional.
Yes.
We're a little weird. We're not corporate. We're not, stodgy and, and all stiff and.
We're not what?
Stodgy.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Google that one, okay?
Google your word of the day, okay? Just Google it. But my point is that we're not corporate. We're not boring. We're kind of weird. We're kind of excited. We've got music playing. We're not your typical finance-looking people, I would say. We're a little bit on the younger side. So
right.
We're already looking not the part for the most, as far as traditional goes.
Right.
So you need to overcome all those objections in their head before they get hit by life with it.
Yeah. Let me tell you kind of what that conversation should sound like, because Ronnie literally freaking nailed it. Is when I'm sitting down with somebody and they're going to start with me, I'm letting them know in advance, hey, we're going to freaking make something happen. I'm all in if you're all in. But let me tell you up front, we're not an Herbalife. We're not Amway. We're not one of those companies. We're not one of those things. We're a professional firm, but we're also very non-traditional and we're very non-corporate. So what I mean by that is that we probably don't look like your ideal financial firm. And you want to know, that's why we love what we do. That's what makes us proud of what we do, is we are different. We take what usually goes to the top 2% and we give it to the 98%. And the 98%, they're real and they're authentic. So we're real and we're authentic. We're going to have some fun. We don't have a traditional environment, but that's why we love it. We don't want you to feel like you're going to work. And it's not even about you. We don't want to feel like we're at work.
Yeah.
And so we're very non-traditional. We're very non-corporate. And when you go home, your buddies are going to think you're selling Herbalife and protein shakes. And there's nothing wrong with Herbalife and protein shakes, by the way.
Right.
But that's just not what we do.
Right.
That's not our industry. And if you tell them that up front when they get home, when they get hit with that stuff, they go, oh, you know what? Yeah, they said that you were going to say that. And so you're telling them in advance. Someone goes, well, I thought, that's one of those recruiting things, right? I tell people all the time, there's nothing wrong with the fact that it's one of those recruiting things. The problem is if someone doesn't understand why they're recruiting.
Right.
That's where the problem comes in. So you overcome these things in advance, like the scenario of disaster. Oh, yeah, it's one of those things. Oh, all they do is recruit. Well, hey, if you told your agent up front why, and you explain to them the compensation, you explain to them how the industry works, you explain to them the structure, then they go, oh, yeah, we do recruit, but let me tell you why. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that you're not addressing it up front. So they go home, they get punched in the face, and then they're like, oh, well, there goes my shot. Yeah, oh, man, I can't believe I fell for that. Because they're not educated because you didn't do your job in the beginning.
Yeah, so basically in summary, you're telling them that we're weird and different, And then you're telling them why we're weird and different.
That's it.
That way, when somebody else does, they're like, I know.
Everybody wants to be weird and different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody does.
It's a really, really, really big shift that you could make in your business that will help you right away.
And you could use it to your advantage. Everybody wants to be different. Everybody wants to do the next, new thing.
Yeah.
So Apple built a whole company off of being different.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Very cool. Awesome.
Number 4.
Number 4.
All
right.
Which ties into the number 3.
Yes, you're going to notice that they all do that.
Yes.
They tie into each other. Number 4 is one of the reasons. Remember, this is the top 10 reasons, or my top 10 reasons why your teammates keep quitting. So number 4, you're not getting their fast start done within 48 hours.
Right. Let's just keep it real. If you were to start at a job, the orientation is going to be ASAP for the most part. They're not going to hire you for the most part and then wait 3 months to get you into the office. Remember the conversation that you had, the one we talked about in the beginning, about asking them about their questions, about their goals and their dreams, and that's why they started with you. But there's this magic of doing things quickly that will keep that fresh in their mind, and it'll help motivate them and push them towards taking action. And that's why we say you got to do the orientation within 24 to 48 hours. So all that stuff is fresh in their head. They have the reasons why they started still in their head. And that way they can carry on that momentum. Otherwise, if you wait a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they're either going to fall off or you're going to have to start from square one. Okay, why are we doing this? What are your goals? What are your dreams? You're literally having to refresh everything all over again. It's the same thing like we talked about previously with client appointments, right? With client appointments, you have to keep everything close together, and success loves speed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Success loves speed. There's something called the law of diminishing intent. And the law of diminishing intent says that the longer we sit on an idea, the less chance we have of that idea coming to fruition and actually accomplishing that. And so if you're not running a fast start, remember, it's a fast start. That's the freaking name of it. Fast start. If you're not doing it fast, then you're doing slow starts. And if you're not doing even slow starts, you're putting someone out. Here's the deal. If they're doing, they get their application in on Monday, and then you set up their orientation for next Monday, that's going to be a slow start or a no start. That's going to be a sign and die. They got 7 days for some dumbass to say something stupid that just pisses all over their dream. And they're like, you know what? Yeah, what was I thinking? So if I code you today, within 48 hours, we're sitting back down, we're getting your orientation done. Now, one mistake that you'll make is doing application and orientation the same day. I don't believe that's successful.
That's too much.
Now, if your system does that and your coach does that, then so be it. I mean, we're giving you our experience. So I'm not saying you do what your coach says, but I personally haven't had success in that. That's too much. I would rather you start today and come back tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Number 5.
Okay. If you do not enroll their family, their friends, their support system, the people who are closest to them, into their vision, or just their
into their purpose here.
Why they're doing it, right? Their friends and their family need to know why they're doing that. And you have to help them with this because they're so new that they're not going to be able to articulate what you articulated to them that first time that you met with them. So the goal is to get their friends and their family in front of you as soon as possible. That way you can enroll them in their journey here. That way you can literally tell their friends and their family when they're sitting in front of you, hey, the reason I wanted you to come is because I want you to be able to support, Jay. I want you to be able to support Jay, cheer him on, because at being an entrepreneur, you're going to have your highs and you're going to have your lows. And when he has his lows, I want you to be the one to encourage him, to push him, to remind him why he's doing this, because you're one of the closest people to him. Right. And I can't be with him everywhere.
Right. Very good. Very good. The conversation sounds kind of like this for me if I'm sitting on an appointment. I say, hey, within the next 7 days, we got to sit down with your spouse. Or who believes in you? Who supports you? Who is it? If you're going to make a life decision today, who's the person that you call? If you're going to buy a home today, who's the one you call and go, hey, what do you think? Should I do that? Who's the person that you talk to the most? And the reason why this is a family business. So we believe in family being in business with you. Now, if you don't like your family, then you can leave them away. But if you like your family, we believe in your family being in business with you. When you're not home late at night, we want them to know why. We want them to know, hey, he's not here because he's on appointments. We want them to meet us and see our environment, see our culture, so they know when you're gone, you're at a place that's good for you. You're at a place where you're growing. You're at a place where the values are strong. We want them to cheer you on. They know more people that you don't know. And so at the end of the day, we want you to make it here long term. And most people don't make it here long term if their family hates this place.
Right. And I can speak from the perspective that he's talking about because he started in business first. He was full-time in business first. I was working full-time and going to school full-time. And so when I went to the office for the first time, it helped to have a picture. It helped to meet all the people he was talking to me about and to know that they're good people and that, they're encouraging him and not only encouraging him, but helping him to grow in a positive manner. And then when he started going on appointments himself with our own teammates, it helped me to meet them and see them as real people. That way, when he was like, oh, hey, Jackie wants to do an appointment, on Saturday, and we had plans. Well, I know Jackie. I like Jackie. So I'm like, okay, go ahead. Go run the appointment because I want her to win too because I like her. I know her. It's so important. It completely changes the game, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Coming from this perspective.
I agree. And it also gives that person a sense of ownership. So a lot of times people go like, well, this is his thing. This isn't my thing. Like, I support him, but this is his thing. We understand that, but I want you here at least once so that you understand what you're supporting. Mm-hmm. Like it's important to us. I know that you make all the decisions, you do your own thing, but it's important to us that you're involved and you're a part of this because this isn't our first freaking rodeo. It's not our first time. We're not trying to do the spouse thing where we get in the middle. The business is in the middle of your relationship. And a lot of us, we have that downfall, is that it's easy just to recruit one person, but they don't stick. They don't stick because when they go home, they're dealing with crap because their spouse, yes, they're supportive, but they're not involved. And they don't believe in it. So that's number 5.
Yes. And then number 6.
Yes. Let me tell you, number 6 is one of the biggest ones. It's one of the biggest mistakes is that you're not constantly in communication with your teammates. But all the haters and non-supporters are.
Mm-hmm. And that's especially important in the beginning because they don't have enough belief to back up or to handle people talking crap to them constantly. They're just keep on getting like barraged with questions and doubts and all this stuff. So if you're not talking to them and giving them the belief, transferring your belief to them, they're going to take on the doubts of somebody else.
Gosh, man, it's so bad. This is a huge mistake that people make. So imagine this. You're a boxer. You go in the ring. Okay? We walk out. Boom, you got a game plan. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. That's Evander Holyfield's quote. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. You walk out, I'm going to kick this dude's butt. Boom, you get hit in the face. Mm-hmm. Instantly, your belief goes down. Instantly. You get hit a couple more times. You're getting your butt whooped. You're losing the round. They ring the bell for a reason, which is that now I could go back in the corner and my coach, I feel like crap, but my coach is like, yo, you won the round. Freaking killed it. Great job. Face is busted. He's like, great job. And you're like, oh, all right, great job. And he's like, but do me a favor. Keep your hands up. Wake up a little bit. Boom, you go back out. Get your butt kicked. Go back in the corner. Thank God they ring the bell. And your coach is like, hey, good job, man. You're doing great. You're hanging there. My point is that you have a coach. So every time you go out, you come back and you got a coach. No matter how bad you're doing, your guy in your corner saying, hey, you're killing it. Now, that's constant communication. Some of us, we only talk to our teammates at the meeting.
Right.
We only talk to our teammates the day of the meeting to make sure they're coming to the meeting. But the whole rest of the time, the world is in their ear, but you're not. If everyone else is talking to them, why aren't you? If everyone else is telling them nonstop nonsense and BS, you're the only person pouring belief into them, and you don't talk to them more than once a freaking week.
Yeah, and we always tell people, where else can you go where there's somebody in the room telling you, hey, you can make $100,000, you can make $1 million, you can hit your goals, you've got this, like you're amazing. Who else like in your life is telling you that stuff? And so, and it doesn't, when we're talking about haters and them punching you, we're not talking about just strictly business related, that they're telling you, oh, you're in a scam, or oh, you're doing that thing. We're not even just specifically talking about that. We're just talking about life in general.
Right.
How many negative things are being told to them constantly, or versus how many positive things are being told to them. So when they come to our office, when we talk to them every single interaction, we want to be pouring belief into them, pouring positivity into them, and really lifting them up every single time.
Yeah, because that's what they need.
Yeah.
That's what they need. People struggle with low self-esteem, low self-confidence, especially today. Now, more than ever, it's a freaking epidemic that people doubt themselves because society sets unrealistic expectations for so many different things that just mess with people's heads. And you're the one who's supposed to be cheering these people on. You got to be in relationship with them every day, constantly in phone call, text, making them your best friend, dating your team, obviously with boundaries, but I mean that if you're dating someone, you don't just talk to them once a week. Hey, checking in on you, want to make sure you're good. Hey, how was your day at work today? Hey, you excited for tomorrow? Like it's constant communication with them because remember, someone's going to talk to them. And you can't control that. But you could control whether you talk to them. So you need to ramp up your communication.
Yep.
Next, number 7.
Next one. You got to get your people to meetings and to events. You have to. You have to. Those are the little like check marks as far as like keeping them into business. Because every, 3 to 6 months, you have an event, a big event. And in between that, you have your trainings, your weekly trainings. Most offices have at least 2 to 3 a week. And enrolling them in that environment. Because our environment is so powerful, I feel like. Even personally, when I'm sick, when I'm not feeling good, we have one of our trainings, and I feel better after all these years. I always feel better after a training because everybody's there, everybody's positive, the music's good, the vibes are good, and you just leave feeling like your cup has been filled.
Yeah.
And so it's so important to get them enrolled in that program as soon as possible because they could go do finance anywhere, honestly. They can go get a license and go with any company. But the thing that's special about our company is our environment.
Right.
Is that we're based on positivity and growth and progress and just nurturing. We're rooted in all that stuff. And that's why we're different. And so you have to enroll them into that and get them on that schedule as soon as possible.
It's the thing that fired me up the most when I started was having the opportunity to go to the office. Like I remember the excitement that I felt getting dressed, putting on my suit and getting there and pulling in the parking lot and it's full. And I'm like, damn, man, a lot of people beat me here. Like, what the heck? I'm not gonna get a good seat. Like if you show up on time to our event night, dude, you're parking like all the way to hell on the other side of the parking lot.
Right.
And you're sitting in an extra plastic chair that got pulled out of the closet. I think some people still fight over those. What doesn't make sense to me. But I remember that enthusiasm when I'd get up closer and I'd see all the people and the lights on and I'd hear the Mozone from outside. Like those are the things that brought excitement to me. Now, even if you don't like the Mozone, even if you don't like crowds or your teammate doesn't like crowds, they have to get there because people make life-changing decisions in environments like that. They don't make life-changing decisions on their couch.
Yeah.
And so environment, atmosphere, enrolling them into it, getting them, yes, we're going to do some financial planning, but taking them to the meeting and introducing them to your friend, taking them to the meeting and getting them relationships with other people like themselves, and then going to the meeting after the meeting and hanging out and grabbing food together, and they're getting intertwined into the culture. And now you've got someone who's there, like they're excited to come back to the next meeting, and they don't quit. Meetings are the reasons people don't quit. Meetings are the reasons that sometimes duds become studs, because meetings are the things that they get there and it's like freaking CPR and you're resuscitating your recruit because they're like, oh, I just don't know if I could do this anymore. So many times, I hate area-wide. We have an area-wide meeting the second Monday of every month. I freaking hate it. I have to get up so damn early and drive all the way the heck to this freaking city. And I hate it. But every time I leave, I'm like, oh, dude, I'm freaking fired up because Charlier gets up there and freaking pulls me up, and I'm like, I'm freaking fired up. I'm so glad I came. Just like leg day. Same thing at leg day.
Right? Yeah.
So get your team in there. Number 9.
Number 9 is making sure that your teammates are growing and making progress. Because if not, they're out the door sooner than you know.
Give me some examples, Ronnie, on how to do that. Because people are going to think progress means they have to be getting apps or recruits. But that's not true. So what are some examples? Because you're very good at this. What are some of them?
Okay, so just starting from the beginning, right? You're a brand new person, getting them in their licensing class. Getting a top 25 from them, booking them some appointments, right? Getting on the phone, getting them some results immediately, helping them invite guests to the BPM. Take it even a little further, getting them their sprint award, getting them to pass their exam, getting them to pass their AML. These are all like little things, little check marks that they can make. And we celebrate every single one of them. We're like, you did your AML? Awesome. You passed your test? Awesome.
I think that's one of the keys, though, because what I was going to say was that those are all progress points.
Yeah.
But they don't feel like progress if they're not celebrated.
Right, yeah. They attach whatever meaning you attach to it.
Right.
So you have to make a big deal about that stuff because they're making progress. They're moving forward. So are you recognizing those little things? And then, of course, we want them to, like I said, get their license, get their promotion, make their first check, right? Like earn their first check, do their first policy, all that stuff. You should be recognizing every single thing along the way. And that should not stop. We still celebrate all of those things, even if you've been here for 5 years. Right. And the more you recognize it, the bigger of a deal it is.
And then when they're doing those things, one thing that we're very aware of all the time is, let's say we do write an app. Well, I don't need to fill out the application every time. The new agent could fill out the application. So I could pass the computer and say, hey, do me a favor, fill this out. Or one thing we do is when we're doing your own policy for you as an agent, I a lot of times have you fill out the policy application for yourself. Because now you're learning how to fill out the application. There's just little things when I go home, I go, damn, freaking learned something new. Hey, I actually learned today I filled out an application. I learned how to fill out an application. Or today I got a new recruit again, but this time they had me fill out the associate membership agreement. These are all, I remember doing this stuff when I was new.
Right. It goes with everything. Them getting appointed. Hey, I want to show you how to get appointed. So that way when you have teammates, you can show them.
Yes. I remember the first time I learned how to put a rider on a policy. You remember the first,
everything.
These are big moments that you always remember. But a lot of us, our teammates, aren't having that feeling of like, I'm getting better. So they quit because they go like, I feel like I'm not learning anything. I feel like I'm still stupid when it comes to the business. Like I still know nothing. And so it's a big reason why people quit. People quit when they don't feel progress.
Yep.
Okay, next. Number 9. Oh.
This is a big one.
Yeah, this is probably
one of the bigger ones.
Yes, this is a very, very, very big leadership flaw. It's not just a reason why you're this. We're gonna say it in a second, but I want to tell you this is something that affects leaders all the way to the top. And it's one that you may not even be aware that you're making this mistake. And I want to tell you, a lot of these we've given you are reasons why new agents quit. This is a reason why your senior leaders will quit.
Yeah.
So number 9 is that you're using shame to motivate people. Shame or negative pressure or negative reinforcement. Talk about it a little bit.
So
Ronnie's background, she was a psychologist. So this is something that she's always very aware of.
I have so many examples, but I'll just share a couple with you. So if somebody comes in late and you're in the front of the room and they're just trying to sneak in the back, trying to get a seat, they got there late, and then calling them out publicly, and pretty much just like, oh, you're here again. Well, thank you for joining us. Like very sarcastic. I've seen that happen before. And you could just tell that the other person went through how to get there and they just got kicked. I've seen people boo each other, as an office, you know.
And it's okay to boo like in a joking way.
Right.
But we're talking on a serious
on
way.
on a serious level, like booing somebody because they are not performing the way that you want them to. I've seen that happen. I've seen people just take things to like a personal level as far as like trying to motivate people, you know, and you hit them where it hurts because you know that's their sweet spot, but that's not the way to motivate them, right?
Yeah.
You're like, do you want to be stuck where you are forever? This doesn't always work with some people. Very few people are motivated negatively.
Or, I mean, even an example would be like me calling Ronnie and going, hey, did you hear that, Jay Justin, he was talking shit about you. He said that you suck. You're running a team of high schoolers. And, like, you pay for all your AMAs yourself. And, as a leader, though, that's not... some people will respond to that, but that's not positive. That's not a positive challenge for people. And then I call Jay Justin and I go, hey, bro, did you hear that Ronnie was talking shit? She said that, you're never going to make it because you don't know how to recruit. And she said that, your net point ratio is trash. And it's like these types of things, like, sure, they may spark competition, but it creates resentment.
Yep.
And that's the biggest downfall, I think, is that stuff crumbles a hierarchy because it creates resentment. From the inside out. They talk about the biggest empires in history did not crumble because the outside army got in. They crumbled because of people on the inside. And what ends up happening is that you create this negative energy in your company, and you create this negative energy in your culture, and it just destroys you.
Right. And let me tell you what you can do instead, because sometimes that might be the automatic reaction.
Right.
Because you've seen it somewhere else, right?
And before you say that, I want to point something out real fast, because what she's going to tell you is the right way to do it. So a lot of times you doing it the wrong way, you don't do it on purpose, but you're frustrated. And when you're frustrated, that frustration comes out. And sometimes you say things as a leader that you shouldn't say.
Right.
And you're frustrated probably because your team's too small. Or you're frustrated because you're not congruent and you don't feel good. And you don't feel good because you're not working. So now you're relying on everybody else to do it, and they're just doing their thing, and you're upset. You're really upset with yourself. So that's something to be aware of, that if you're shaming people, hurt people. Okay, tell them the right way to do it.
I think the correct way to do it is to praise what you want to see more of and ignore the bad. Praise the good, ignore the bad.
That's great advice.
Use positive peer pressure. And I'll give you some tangible, examples of like what we do in our office. So we want people to get registered for an event, right? For Vegas or for Wealth Bowl. And we have a leaders board and we put them in order of when they got registered. So people want to be first, so they, try to get registered as soon as possible, or they want to be the first 10 or the first 20. That's a positive way to recognize people, right? What else do we do? So so sometimes when we're doing, what am I talking about? The like leaders where we're recognizing the top 10. So we'll clap for people if they're in the top 10, and if we say their name and they're not there, we give them one clap.
Oh man, they're not here. Freaking dud.
No, yeah. No, we still recognize them, right? It's still positive. That's how we do everything. We always just praise people who are doing, things that are pushing their business forward, and we don't pay any attention to people who aren't doing anything.
Literally, I'll be doing training and someone will make a comment that's really stupid. And I've been in the room when leaders will literally be like, hey, stand up. What kind of stupid ass question was that? And just rip people. Where for me, even though I may want to do that, I just completely ignore it.
Right.
If I'd never even freaking heard them, I just keep on pushing. There's so many ways. Just remember, if you want a culture that is a ride or die culture, that's got to be a culture where people ride or die for each other, not just for you. So creating animosity in your environment, although it may feel like, oh man, the team's fired up, because they all want to kill each other. You could also have a fired up team that wants to go kill other teams with each other, not kill each other.
Right. Yeah. And there's tons of ways that you can do that. You just see what your team responds to better, and then you keep doing more of that.
Yeah. So that's number 9.
Yes.
Reason why your teams quit.
Right. Number 10.
It's a big one.
Final one. At the end of the day,
you
can do everything right and avoid all the things that we talked about that were wrong. And that if it's not the right person, they're going to quit anyways.
Yep. This shit ain't for everybody.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, imagine if it was, it would be so saturated.
Yep.
Eventually, you know, it's this business is a filter. It's a natural filter. If they're not meant to do this, they're not going to be here.
Yep.
And so knowing when to let go and just to let people, you know, filter themselves out, that's also a skill, and not to get emotionally attached to them when they do that.
Yep. Get more. If someone, I learned this early on, and man, I will never forget it. If someone tells you after you did everything right, man, it's just not for me, freaking believe them. Believe them. They're saving you the headache.
Because if you have to convince them why they should be here over and over and over again, you're going to do that from now until eternity. That's what you're going to have to keep doing in order to keep them. And you really want to spend every waking moment, you know, while somebody's dangling off a cliff, trying to pull them back over.
Constantly. If you have to fight with them to start, you're going to have to fight with them along the entire freaking process.
And you'll realize that too, because sometimes people will quit and you almost go, it's like a sigh of release. Like, thank God, finally.
What took so long?
Not because they're bad people, just because like it wasn't a good fit, and I think you knew it on some level.
Yeah. Remember, a job, corporate America, if this is not a good fit, they don't keep you.
Right.
They get rid of you. Here, if it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit. You could do it all right, and people will still freaking quit.
Yeah.
But just don't let that be you.
Exactly.
Whoosh, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate you. We hope you like this episode. This is an episode that we thought would add a lot of value. And we want to tell you that all your comments and all that stuff means a lot.
Yes.
All your sharing means a lot. One thing I would encourage you to do is to turn on your notifications on YouTube.
Yes, and leave more comments for topic suggestions.
Yes. We read them all. Ronnie and I sit down at night when we're about to go to sleep, and we literally scroll through them all. We look at them all. Jay Justin, who produces this for us, his Instagram is DJJUSJAY.
Go follow him.
Yes, follow him. We'll actually put his Instagram in here because he's hilarious.
And he's awesome. He has a TikTok too, so check that out.
But he tells us, hey, did you see this comment? Hey, did you see this comment? Like, this was a good topic. And so post your comment requests, your topic requests in the comments. Some of you send us these really heartfelt messages, which are amazing. But post them in the comments.
Yes, please.
You know, respond to each other. Let's create a community and a culture on especially on the YouTube, because that's where the comments are at, where we could support each other and we could help each other win. Yeah. And we look forward to seeing you guys. If we don't see you soon, we'll definitely be seeing you in Vegas.
Yes. Love you guys.
Whoosh. We're out.